What's up, guys? It's a guy, a girl, and a microphone. I'm Freeman.
And I'm Kelsey.
Are you?
I am.
So we took a week off. What a great way to start a show, right? We have all this momentum coming out of the first show, and then we had some stuff come up. You've got life, I've got life, and we tried 3 different times to record last week.
Yeah, and it was, because it's not like we were just lazy or blowing it off. We tried 3 different times and couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, couldn't make it happen. So here we are. A week later, this show, I did this last time, so I feel like it's good to timestamp. Recording this one on January 22nd. You can, of course, find the audio on SoundCloud or YouTube. Surely you're on one of those right now if you're listening to it. Otherwise, you got an advanced copy, and lucky you.
Don't know how it happened, but...
I don't either, but...
Good job.
People really liked what we did last time, so... That was encouraging. We were pretty excited about that. We mostly just talked about ourselves. That's pretty much what you do in the media, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty easy for us, too. We're just, I guess, self-involved.
We are so fascinating. That's what it comes down to. This week, we wanted to start a new thing where we've got 2 weeks to play on this time. But we wanted to go back and look at like the best part of our last week. So you got to do something really cool in the last week.
Yeah, so I'm also not just a radio DJ, but I'm also a fitness instructor.
Woot.
And we had a class on how to, it was an improv class. And actually one of our fellow instructors, they've been out to California. They've taken, I don't know the right word to call it or right phrase, but I just call them like master actor classes. Like actors theater, things like that.
Inside the actor's studio.
Yeah, but I don't have a voice like that. So anyway, but it's something similar. So anyway, he's been out to California a few times, and I mean, he's been in like commercials and some productions, and he's definitely a big deal around here in Columbus, Indiana.
You best know him for his role in the Pee Wee Herman movie as background actor number 7. You can see him in the upper left corner of the screen.
False. Anyway, good improv there.
Thank you.
I guess I was negative because that's one thing that we learned. You can't negate a situation. You know, you always have to be thinking yes.
Always think yes. There's a movie about that with Jim Carrey. Yes, man.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Yeah.
I haven't. But why can't you negate? What's the point of that?
Because it ends the scene. It ends the thought process. So,
oh, yeah. You shut me down pretty good. When you were negative, I did not want to talk anymore.
Well, and then you have nowhere to go. See,
you were negative again.
I was
now
negative
I'm done.
again, and then you were done, and you were speechless, which doesn't happen, ladies and gentlemen, very much. So
never in my life.
I am patting myself on the back. Anyway, so we had just like this mini improv class because when we're instructing, I mean, we are talking to adults, and we're kind of going on the fly with our classes. I mean, we have a basic structure of everything, but you kind of have to be in the moment. And even though, you know, we do this a lot. Obviously, we talk for a living, so we're pretty good at thinking quick on our feet. It was still pretty helpful, and we played some icebreaker games, and we did a few things that were really helpful. And it was just interesting to learn that side of, I don't know, the screen.
I think it's always good, though, to like be willing to learn a new skill or learn a new technique because, yeah, we're good at improv. For example, this morning, I was doing a bit on the radio, and my computer completely froze, and I had to improv my way right through the end of that break and keep it going. But
I just want to say that he was not this positive at 7 a.m. today.
I was fired up. But
yeah, we'll say that.
You have to improv through things, but to know, like, there's a difference in being able to fly by the seat of your pants and knowing how to fly by the seat of your pants.
Yes.
It's like the difference in being able to cook and knowing how to cook.
Yeah.
Like you get better at it. So that's really cool. I wouldn't think about trying to do it with regards to what you do from an instructional standpoint over at the gym though. That's interesting. Do you think you're funnier now because of that?
No, because I've just always been so funny.
Hilarious. She's so funny.
You were stopping yourself from giggling. No, it's not. It wasn't necessarily about the funny, but you're working with adults. So when you're in these classes,
Boo.
You're working with adults, obviously, and sometimes they're coming to the gym. I mean, you've had this where you've been at work all day and you are phoning it in. You just go to the gym because you told yourself you would, and you just show up, lift some weights, and then get out of there. Well, I work at a kickboxing gym, and you have to be motivating or they're just going to fly or roll through the punches. And they're not going to be as motivated. Whereas if I'm engaging and I'm entertaining, then that's helpful to the class.
Yeah, on days where I've had a long day and I go home and I've committed to going to the gym, do you know what I do?
I know. You just go home.
I just don't go to the gym. That's correct. My best part of this past week, we got the opportunity to go downtown to Indianapolis on Saturday. I had to think about this, and I had kind of been sick all day. I've been fighting off like a head cold for the last week and a half, sore throat and all that. So I wasn't super excited about going, and if you live in the Midwest, you know it got stupid cold throughout the day on.
Just like that.
Yeah, it was like 50 when we got up and 14 when we got up on Sunday. No, I didn't want to play that game. It was another one of those the wind hurts my face days.
You and your Tennessee weather.
Do you see what I did? I shaved my beard off too. How stupid am I?
This is like the third time you've done that. Okay, we have to pause. So he complains about this, and he has sorry, Chelsea, he has a really nice, luscious beard. Like
I had a big one.
It's thick and it's nice. It's a manly beard. Anyway, but he's shaved it off not once, not twice, but 3 times in the almost 2 years that I've known him, and he's lived here in the state of Indiana. And not smart.
I always do it during cold weather too. Like I'll take it off in the summer. It's easy to deal with then. But yeah, I had a 3-month beard. It was like a big, thick, full one. Cut it off Monday morning before I came into work, and it was stupid cold. But Saturday night, cold snap comes in. I'm not feeling great. I'm like, babe, I don't want to go. But we went. We had a great time with some of our friends. We celebrated one of our friends' birthday. Happy birthday, Haley. She turned a year I will not disclose because she's a lady and you folks don't talk about that, but happy birthday. And we went to Condado Taco downtown. Have you ever been?
I haven't.
So freaking good. I'm a big food person, and tacos seem like a super easy thing, right? But they were so good. They do different kinds of tortillas. So you know how Taco Bell, you can get like a double-decker where it's like a crunchy wrapped in a flour?
Yes.
Yeah, they do that, but they put like, you have options of what they can put between them. They put queso, guacamole, and bacon between my two tortillas.
Oh, bacon. I'm sorry for the vegetarians out there, but I saw something great this week. Vegetarians live like 9 years longer than us. Did you know that?
Yeah, but they don't eat bacon.
9 baconless, miserable years longer than us. So
your option is
congratulations.
You go to the substitution section and you're like, yeah, I'd like to sub broccoli for bacon. No. Pour some grease on top of that sandwich for me while you're at it. But it was really good. It was really good. I recommend, like, there's so many good places to eat on Mass Ave. You got like 9 Irish Brothers and World of Beer and the Macaron Bar are places that we like to go pretty regularly. But then food-wise, like, there are just places on top of places on top of places down there. And Condado Taco, it's right on the corner. Lucked my way into a parking space right across from the restaurant. So great.
That doesn't happen a lot.
No, it doesn't. The person pulled off and somebody UI'd to pull into their space.
And you're like,
The person in front of them pulled out too. So we both got to park. It was a really good night.
Okay, that's nice.
It was very nice. But yeah, that was the best thing for me this week. Food is always going to finish high on the list.
You know what's funny? So I grew up in Mooresville, Indiana, which is just outside of Indianapolis. And of course, you grew up in Dixon, Tennessee. But when I was close to Indy, I wasn't, 21 or on my own or anything. So you teach me a lot about Indy because you guys go and explore Indy a lot more than Mitchell and I do because we just don't get up there as much.
It's true, though, of anybody that lives in a place. Like, when we've gone home to Tennessee, Chelsea and I have gone home to Tennessee, she always wants to do the things that I'm like, real Nashville people don't do that. She's like, I want to go to Crema. It's a coffee shop on like the southwest side, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But it's a nice coffee shop. She's like, I want to go there. I'm like, it's on the part of town that's hard to get to. Why do you go there? Or she's like, I want to go down like Demumbrium and that area. I'm like, nobody goes to Demon Bruin, and that's not the right side of town either. She's like, I want to go to. I'm like, no. I'm from Nashville. We don't do these things.
Yeah, well, and that's so we've been in New Orleans quite a bit. That's one of our favorite places, and actually, my son Brennan is named after a restaurant in
That's so awesome.
in New Orleans. But we when we go, we have learned that Frenchman Street is like the local Bourbon Street. Everybody knows Bourbon Street. Everybody knows that's where everybody gets drunk and there's Mardi Gras beads everywhere. But if you want to go to like the local spot to hear jazz music, and all of New Orleans has really great food, but if you want to go for like the local entertainment and the local vibe, you go to Frenchman Street. It's still all in the French Quarter, but it's the local Bourbon Street because local people don't go party on Bourbon Street.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with Mass Ave for you guys. Like, you wouldn't go to Mass Ave just off the top of your head, like throw out a place to go. You would go somewhere local. Like here in town, we would go to like Zwanzig's or Upland or 450 North or someplace like that. Same thing. But if you ever come to Indianapolis, you just let me know. I can rattle off a handful of places like Tapper's Arcade Bar, where all you have to do is buy a beer and you can go in and play all the video games for free. Yeah, I can list some places. We can do some things.
And if you go to New Orleans, I got your back.
She's got you covered. I'll tell you how not to look like a tourist in Nashville.
There you go. Look at that. We're helping everybody travel.
Speaking of traveling, just saw a story today. Apparently this thing went viral. There's some Instagram account. I don't follow it, but this thing went nuts right out of the gate. They did a poll and like studied the states, for lack of a better term, and their population, and determined which states hate each other, like how states hate. So here's a prime example, okay? I'm from Tennessee. I live in Indiana. Do you know what state they both hate? Like the residents of Indiana and Tennessee both hate this state. This should not be hard.
Kentucky.
Con-freaking-tucky. I've never had a good thing to say about Kentucky. Driving through it, Chelsea and I will stop in, what is it down there on this side of the river? Is it New Albany?
Yes.
Is that the little town down there? We will stop in New Albany, get gas, pee, buy food. All that has to survive us for 2 hours worth of driving so that we don't stop in Kentucky.
Oh, my gosh.
Hate that state. I blew out a tire there. I always wind up stopping at the little roundabout exit where the dinosaur world is in Kentucky. Miserable place to stop. There's nothing good to eat there, and the people are trash. I said that out loud. Oh my gosh.
My gosh.
The people aren't trash. That's not fair. They're not trash. It's just a gross exit. And so I just skip Kentucky altogether.
And we just lost like 5 of our new listeners.
I'm just saying, the people of Indiana don't like Kentucky. The people of Tennessee don't like Kentucky. And I have to drive through the thing every time I want to go between the two states.
It's true. You know what? My family's from Kentucky. A lot of my family's from Kentucky.
They don't like Kentucky either.
No, that's not true. The only state on that list that doesn't like itself is Florida.
That's true. Florida hates Florida.
Because of Florida Man.
But I think Florida Man's like a superhero. He can do so much.
He's an idiot. And I did say that out loud, and I don't take that back.
Florida Man is about to go on an iguana hunt because they have a cold snap and the iguanas are just falling out of the trees.
No, and I feel so bad for the iguanas.
I can't believe that it's legal to hunt iguanas. I feel like they should be.
Really?
Yeah. It's or not illegal, but legal to hunt iguanas.
Why would you want to? They're gross. They're a reptile.
Apparently they run rampant in Florida, so Florida Man's going to hunt them down.
Unless it's 40 degre's, so that they just
fall out of the trees. On the flip side of all that, Indiana is hated by...
was it Illinois?
Illinois. Chicagoans, I feel like they hit a lot of people.
Yeah.
That feels pretty common.
Yeah.
Do you have nicknames for any of the states?
No.
This is going to sound so odd, but there's not a state that you're like, yep. You know, people call Florida the Panhandle State.
Yes.
Because it looks like a pan.
Yes.
And a handle.
Is that why they call it that?
You know what I call
Please draw me a picture and write it out for me.
Do you know what I call New Jersey?
Oh, gosh. The armpit?
Yes!
The armpit of the...
Look at you. And do you know what that makes California?
No.
It's the butt cheek of America.
Oh, my gosh. I have never heard that one.
And, of course, you got Memel running right down the middle. The elf?
No.
You don't know Memel the elf?
I don't know Memel the elf.
Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. They make Memel the elf. He's got a little hat, a nose, a belly, and a foot.
Oh, well, no. Have you seen where it's like a chef and the KFC or like Kentucky is like the pan with fried chicken. No, Tennessee is the pan and Kentucky is the fried chicken. And the hat, it's Memel.
It's Memel, but he's cooking?
Yeah, he's cooking. Okay, so we know what we were each talking about.
Tennessee's in a bad location to be a frying pan. Looks more like an appendage. So Florida hates Florida. People from Georgia and Alabama also hate Florida.
Most hated state was California, though, right? By 9.
Yeah, lots of states. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah,
Everybody just hates
Arizona.
California,
New
really.
Jersey hates everyone,
Yeah.
which is why they're the armpit.
Yes. And Hawaii, though, Hawaii just loves everybody.
Does
Aloha.
anyone hate Hawaii? That's an interesting
How
question.
could you hate Hawaii?
We have our pastor and his wife and their little boy are in Hawaii right now. And they posted a picture the other day. Dan, our pastor, apparently likes to toss Hudson around. So Dan's standing out in the water, like mid-thigh high ocean water.
Oh, gosh.
And the picture that Karen, his wife, took, I'm guessing easily Hudson is 10 feet in the air.
Oh, my gosh. How old is this baby?
Oh, he's little. He's like a year and a half.
Oh,
or just
my
turned a
gosh.
year.
No.
Just turned a year. I'll show you a picture later. It's hilarious. But yeah.
Do we have an Instagram account yet? So we can post these kinds of things?
Do we as like a pair?
Yeah, a pair.
As a show? No, we do not.
Okay, well, we'll make sure to get that. We'll remedy this. Oh, my gosh. No. This baby, I don't even know how he's fitting in the picture.
He's way up there. There's whales in the background if you're curious.
That's cool.
I don't feel like you could ever hate Hawaii. Have you ever been?
No. So we decided that we wanted to renew our vows every 5 years. By the way, 5 years coming up in December. And
Convenient.
Hawaii was the first choice. So I think we're going to go in December this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to try to go tax return willing. We're going to try to go to Europe for our first anniversary. So we want to get that out of the way before we have podlings.
Yes.
Because apparently those guys make it hard to travel.
They do. They do make it hard to travel. It is not convenient to go places with like a pack and play and a whole diaper bag. And yeah,
What do you think
it's tough.
What do you think the checked luggage rate on a pack and play is?
To like Paris?
Yeah.
Oh,
Couple $100?
oui, monsieur.
No, that's the diaper luggage.
Yes.
You know, Speaking of spouses, you had a really interesting question earlier today. I find this fascinating. Apparently, you and Mitchell have some quirks.
Yeah, so we do have quirks, and we're just going to talk about his because he's not here to defend himself.
Oh, well, no. No, not getting into that one. No. You have to go equal. You have to go like tit for tat.
I am very fair. Okay, well, one of the first ones, and this has been something that he's done since we've been together. And actually next week, Tuesday, we will have been together 8 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I think we already talked about in the last
That's longer than
episode.
any relationship I've ever had.
Really? Well, remember we talked about it in the last episode, how you're just like flying through life. And I'm like, 4 years, then we can get engaged. 2 years, then we can get married. A whole year, then we have babies. Anyway. So Mitchell, he doesn't say goodbye on the phone. He never says bye to me. He'll just say, I love you. But he never says bye because he's like, if something ever happens, I'm like, that's kind of morbid. But he's like, if anything ever happens, I don't want that to be the last thing you hear from me.
Well, that's both sweet and, yeah, morbid.
Right?
Like, I see the sweetness of, like, I want you to hear I love you.
But when you say it out loud the way he says it. And then let me tell you, okay, so that's to people that he loves. If you were to call him right now, he'd just hang up on you. When he's done talking and you're done talking, the conversation's done, he'll just hang up. He just doesn't say bye. It's rude. It's so weird.
I was about to say, rude, dude.
It is so weird.
What the heck?
So when we first started dating, there was no I love you. It was just like, okay, we'll talk later. Click.
Funny story about that. When I didn't talk about this in the first show, but I was married once before. And you know how you fall into habits and rhythms with people?
Yes.
I was talking to my soon-to-be ex-wife on the phone, and like we go to get off the phone, and I'm like, okay, love you. And she's like, love you too. And then I was like, that was weird.
Ooh.
She was like, yeah, I'll talk to you later. And it was just one of those of like, we had said it for so long. We had been together 3 or 4 years at that point. We had said it for so long that it was like, oh, this is just how, with our tone right now, because we're not yelling at each other, this is how we end the phone call.
Well, and you hear their voice, and it's just, it feels natural because for so long it was.
Nope. Hot
It
mess.
wasn't after that, no.
So maybe Mitchell's onto something. If I never say, oh, no. He says I love you.
He does say I love you.
What if I just say bye all the time and I never say love you? That sounds like
That's
a bad
just
idea
worse.
too.
Just be normal and say I love you, bye. I'll just let my husband be abnormal, Abby normal.
Okay, so I'm not going to throw my wife under the bus.
Well, that's no fun.
I'm going to throw myself under the bus. So I have 2 kind of pseudo quirks. I guess they're quirks. So I'm kind of a brat. Just like I'm the one that's always like picking, or I'll like tickle her, or I'm the nuisance in the relationship. You can imagine that. She's very serious. I'm very not that. So
very opposite of that.
So I have a tendency to like, not necessarily in sweet moments. I'll never just like break up the sweet moment. But she will say to me all the time, she'll be like, did you just lick me? Because I will. It like a part of her face, I'll just be like, "Meh."
That is so gross.
That's what she said. She's like, did you just lick my cheek?
Like, that's not something you think you'll ever say to another adult human.
And yet it happens so much more often than in her life than she would ever want.
That's just like, okay, so when we had Brennan, there are things that you never think you would say. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that there's poop on the floor, like human feces on the floor.
That's never happened to you before having a kid?
No, it has now. That's what I'm saying.
Like
before that.
Before you had a kid, that never happened?
No. Who would have pooped in my floor?
You didn't do college, right? Guys, did somebody poop in the floor?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, maybe. Could be a dog, could be a human, could be a bear. Who knows?
I got the last time, so it's your turn this time.
Somebody get the squeegee. Where's the squeegee and the Swiffer? Let's go, guys. Come on, roll it out. Does Mitchell have any other quirks, or are you willing to fess up to one?
Oh my gosh, we have so many quirks. Yeah, I'll fess up to one. So the other day we're in the grocery store, and he buys hot dog buns all the time. I'm like, why? Because it's inevitable. Half of the bag will go bad. So I'm of the opinion that you should just buy bread, because we're going to use the bread. We're going to use the loaf of bread.
But it's not good.
Yes, it is. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. It does not. Okay, I will give this to him. Like, he says, I buy hot dog buns because they stand up and they hold the hot dog better. I'm like, okay, we'll hold it like a taco when you're using the bread, and then we can save ourselves the money.
But we just talked about this. Like, well, first of all, how do you cook your hot dogs? Are they always like over a fire, or do you boil them?
I put them in the microwave. What are you talking about?
In the microwave? Are you an animal?
I just put a slit down the middle of it, and I'm just like, 30 seconds. I don't know.
The look of horror on my microwaved.
They're microwaved.
Ew. No. Never mind. We can't even talk about this. No. But the regular bread is not made for that.
People. How are you judging me about microwaving my hot dog?
I lick my wife.
It's still weird. You're an adult.
So now it's time to throw her under the bus, since you threw yourself under the bus. I'm gonna roll it out there. Yeah. She is one of those people that she always pours a full cup of coffee, or she'll open like a 20 ounce or a can of Coke, or I guess up here, pop, soda, whatever.
Unless it's actually a Coke.
No, it's Coke Zero. So whatever. She takes drinks, and I promise you, it's got to be 80% of the time, 80% or better. And she'll own this, but 80% of the time, she just leaves the drink.
Oh, and
half drunk, doesn't finish it. And to me, there are two things. Like, if you leave a beer or a cup of coffee, it's like leaving a man behind.
It's true.
It's
true. Party foul, especially for the beer.
I'm offended on both of those. If you leave those half drunk and they like are unusable now, oh no.
The coffee at best, back to my microwave. you can nuke it.
But
depending on when you find it.
Yeah, I'm talking like she gets up with me in the morning at 4, and when she goes to work, she'll leave like a half-drunk cup of coffee on her bedside table. Well, you can't drink that when you get home.
No, you can't. Why doesn't she just put it in like a to-go container and like a to-go cup?
That's the thing. Usually she does do a to-go cup.
And then just doesn't take it to go?
No, it's a fresh cup. That's what I'm saying. Like whenever she pours the travel mug, she'll pour it out of the pot and not use what she's already poured out. Yeah, I know. It's bad enough that when she was doing her bio for work, that's in there. Like leaves half-drunk coffee cups in her wake. That's in her personal bio.
Chels.
I'm like, baby, can you please? And
I can help you fix some of it. Just instead of buying cans of like pop, yes,
soda,
just buy 2 liters.
We've started doing that.
Yeah, they don't taste the same, but
the first glass tastes good when you pour it over ice. The first glass of whatever it is,
right?
And then it's just like, nah, tastes like refrigerator.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that. I have a tendency when something happens, and you may or may not have learned something from that incident. I will look at my wife and say, "What did you learn?" And she hates
that. Yes. I hate it for her. I hear those stories all the time, and I want to punch you, and I'm not Chelsea.
She will look at me and she'll be like, "What did you learn?" Because seldom does it happen where I do the dumb thing. Like, she'll openly admit, I usually think through the potential consequences of whatever's going to happen and how this could play out. But if I screw it up, she'll be like, "What did you learn?" I'm like, that is so annoying. Why do I say that to people?
And then 10 minutes later,
what did you learn? Can you see where this might kick into an argument? No, what did you learn?
Yeah. Back and forth, straight back and forth.
Did you learn anything in this?
I don't know, but did you learn anything?
Nothing that you wanted me to learn. That's for dang sure. Oh my gosh. Our spouses and literally anyone that knows us, they hate us right now because
they do.
We've thrown some people under the bus.
Yeah, but truth be known, we've been doing this for a while, and we've been throwing them under the bus for a while. And I want to say, Mitchell, I don't know about Chelsea, Mitchell knew this going into it. So we met when we were in college, and I told him straight up, I'm going to be in radio, not going to make any money, and I'm going to throw you under the bus. Anybody that's in my life, depending on the story and the severity of how stupid you are, I might change your name.
To protect the innocent.
But everybody in my life is subject to be thrown under the bus because I throw myself under the bus.
I think it's fair. I think that was date 2 conversation for us. I was like, look, we're going to get it out there on the radio. Our lives will be lived through the microphone.
Yep.
To the point that, like, when we first started dating, there was a girl that she worked with that tuned in and listened to me. And she eventually stopped listening because she felt like she was stalking Chels. She was like, I feel like I'm stalking you because I come in after a weekend and on my way into work, I hear him talk about what you guys did over the weekend. And now I don't have to ask you, like, how was your weekend? I know that you went to do X, Y, and Z.
And you had a great time.
You had a good time. So I got nothing.
I have no reason to talk to you now.
We also had we're going to be broke conversation because I think it was going to be our 3rd date, maybe 3rd or 4th. And she was coming down to my apartment. I was going to cook. She wrecked on 65 in the ice. I drove up because I was the closest. I drove up to, at the very least, sit with her. Probably should have taken her to get like a CT scan because I'm pretty sure she was concussed. Neither here nor there. While she was sorting out the insurance information, her dad and I were talking. First time I met Jim Gaffney. Nice guy. Terrified me in the moment. But he looked at me and he said, I hope you're not in it for the money because, she works in ministry. They don't make a lot. I'm like, I hope she's not in it for the money because I'm in radio. And if this works out, we're just going to be poor. So you get that out there. Like if you work in radio, you're going to get talked about on the air. And no, we are not sugar daddies and sugar mamas.
That's exactly what Mitchell called me. He said, you're going to be my sugar mama. I'm like, you need to go somewhere else.
There ain't no sugar can't get blood from a turnip and can't get sugar or money from a radio personality.
Amen.
Truth.
Amen emoji.
speaking of, condolences to our iHeart friends who are now not able to get sugar, money, or blood from anything. Tough day in radio there. But that's pretty much going to do it for us. Hey, we're going to do this in a week.
Yes.
Actually do it in a week.
We're going to figure it out.
Good show.
Yeah. This is a guy, a girl, and a microphone.
Is that how this works?
That's how it works.
All right. Follow us on social media. Did you ever figure your stuff out?
Yeah. Kelsey James 24.
All right. Kelsey
Facebook,
James.
Twitter, Instagram.
Kelsey James 24. Links in the description. Radio Freeman, Instagram and Twitter. You can follow us there. We'll see you guys next week.